Hi there, welcome back. Today I'll be doing another tag, and it is entitled the Fictional Army Tag. And it was created by Kayla over at Bookadoodles, and I was tagged by her quite some time ago, and I'm finally kind of getting around to doing it. This tag has been really tough. There's like 12 categories in which you build an army, and it's taken me a long time to try and figure out who I wanted to select from the row books that I've read to build my army. And I wanted to make it unique enough that I wasn't going to end up choosing the same people that maybe other people would do if they did the tag. So finally I think I've got all my 12 categories filled, and I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'll be looking down from time to time on my iPad because I've got all the questions and things down here. So the first one is name your strategy team, the people who will plot every move of your army to guarantee victory. And you can choose anywhere from 2 to 4 characters. I chose 3. And the first 2 I picked are L and Light Yagami from the Death Note manga series. Now I chose these 2 because they're pitted against each other within this series, and they're both geniuses. Geniuses at strategy, kind of trying to outwit each other throughout the entire series. To the point where sometimes I'm even confused in how they're keeping everything straight, but the characters are really, really clever, and I really enjoyed them, and I think they would be great running an army. And probably my third person and most obvious choice would have to be the Doctor. I mean, he's strategizing against the universe and all the other aliens that attack Earth and him, and his mind is like 30 to 40 steps ahead of everybody else, and I think he would be awesome running an army. The second category is name 2 drummers, a.k.a. 2 characters that you wouldn't mind sacrificing. That was kind of hard. But the first one I picked up is Bram Griswold from Dearly Departed that's by Leah Habel. And the reason I picked him, although I really liked his character, I think he's great, he's a zombie, so he's already dead, you know, so no real loss, he'll just still be there. And maybe that's cheating a little, but I'm going to go with it. And my other person I chose is Kane from the Gone series. Yeah, he's kind of untrustworthy. He's definitely powerful, so it'd be worth putting him in a battle, but I wouldn't be too sad if I lost him during it, I suppose. So, yeah, that was my 2 drummers. The next one is a protagonist most likely to turn traitor. This one I also had a tough time with. I ultimately went with Cam. He's a character in Unholy by Neil Shusterman. This is part of the book 2 in the Unwind trilogy. This is him on the front cover. He's sort of a Frankenstein-like character, not actually born but created. And as this particular second book in the series ends, he's really fixated on a certain female character in the story, and at all costs wants to be with her, so you don't really know which way this character is going to go. So there's a possibility he could be against our other main characters that we've been following, so I don't really know which way this guy's going to go yet. Okay, number 4, 2 creatures you want on your side. Again, I didn't want to pick obvious creatures, dragons, and things like that, so I went with a Cork Beast, and that's from Jasper Ford's series, the Chronicles of the Kazam, and I picked that creature because they have like 2 rows of razor-sharp teeth, and just sound really evil, and I just like them. And the other creatures I picked were partials from Dan Wells' series. Now these are cyborg-like creatures. Picture the Cylons in Battlestar Galactica. They look very human, but they're very powerful, strong, and I think they'd be really great creatures to have on your side. Number 5. I love this category. It's pick 5 badass characters of your choosing. So I picked a couple, you know, I guess I try to keep it different. My first one is Lex from the Croak series, and that's actually her on the cover. She comes to discover she's a Grim Reaper. That's the sickle she yields there, and she's totally snarky, and I think she'd just be a total badass. The next one I picked, and I just recently finished this book, is Cash from 100 Days in Deadland. She starts out as this terrified office worker, but by the end of this series, she has trained herself in survival techniques and battle, and she's also an expert sniper. So who knew that was going to happen? But I totally felt like she was a badass by the end of this book. The next one, badass from the moment you meet her, is Michonne, and there she is, wielding her sword. I don't know if you can see the sword barely in the picture there. And she's from the Walking Dead series. When she first arrives in the graphic novel, she comes in with a sword and two zombies with their teeth kind of broken out and their arms chopped off, chained behind her as almost like a guard. And yeah, total badass. Do not mess with her. And the next two are actually from the same series, the Gone series by Michael Grant. I picked the Breeze. She develops this ability to move like the breeze, super fast. And she's definitely a force to be reckoned with. She's a very brave and determined fighter. If she's wielding knives and she's zipping past you, she has now chopped you up so much in one passing. So definitely a badass character. And the other one I picked from the series was Sam. He has the ability to create light from his hands and almost shoot it like laser beams, so he could burn things, and yeah, definitely an ultimate fighter. The next category is a speech giver to inspire your troops. This one was really hard. I was trying to think of who I could pick for that, and just last night I finally came up with my character for it, because I remembered them giving kind of an impassioned speech to the population. And that was Maylo from Saving Mars by Sydney Swanson. This is the Saving Mars series. And Maylo is sort of the Secretary General or CEO of the Mars Colony, which is an Earth-based colony on the planet Mars. And this was sort of an experiment, you might say, that started many years earlier. And Earth decided to stop this experiment that they were doing of creating an outpost out on another planet. But the people had been settled there for generations and did not want to leave. And they end up in this sort of Cold War between Earth and the people on Mars. And she gives this wonderful speech to kind of just keep the population inspired in remaining there and fighting and surviving. So I definitely picked Maylo as my speech giver. The next one, number 7. Name a general and a second in command. This one came pretty quickly to me. First general would be Dumbledore from the Harry Potter series. He ran the Order of the Phoenix, so he was definitely in charge of his own little army. And my second in command was Harry Potter. He ran Dumbledore's army, so those are my obvious choices. The next one is number 8. Name someone to financially support your army. And the only character that I could really readily think of that was fairly well off was Trent from the Dead Witch Walking, from the Hollow series by Kim Harrison. Trent is an elf, and he is a very rich, handsome businessman. So he's the only one I could think of off the top of my head. Then the number 9. What character would be your army healer or caretaker? That one I had to go with Lana, I'm not sure how to pronounce her name, from the Gone series. She develops the healing power of touch, so she heals some unbelievably severe injuries during the course of this series, just with her simple touch. So definitely someone to have on your side. Number 10. One magical creature. And I could have gone with someone from Harry Potter, decided I didn't want to choose something so obvious. And instead I went with Rachel Morgan from the Hollow series. There she is. And you can see fire coming out of her hands. She starts out as a white witch, but you find out a whole lot more about this character and her abilities. She can cast spells. She can turn into other creatures with these spells. And she fights demons and all sorts of creatures. So, yeah, definitely. And she can fight really well in hand-to-hand combat, too. So she's my magical creature choice. Number 11. Name your territory. What fictional place would you choose as your battlefield? And again, I went with the series, and I'm choosing the Ever After, which is the underworld realm of the demons. And it's red and fiery and crisscrossed with ley lines, and I just think it would be a really cool setting. And the final one is name an author to write about your epic deeds and victories. And again, I went with Kim Harrison. She is the master of urban fantasy. Her books, in this series in particular, there is so many different kinds of creatures. She herself is a witch. There are demons. There are werewolves, vampires, pixies. I'm not sure if I named them all. There are so many things going on in her books and so many creatures. Hi, Skippy. That I think she could pull off an army that's got, the Doctor and Elle and Light Yagami and Harry Potter. I think she could pull off something like that and write it and make it all work because she does it so well in this series. So that is my fictional army. I hope you enjoyed the tag. I want to thank Kayla for tagging me, and I'm sorry it took me so long to get to it, but hope you enjoyed my answers. And I'm going to tag some people. I'll put their names kind of right in here. And if you feel like doing the tag, definitely go ahead and do it. Let me know down below that you have so I can go and check it out. Or even just list who you would choose for your fictional army. I will put the categories in the description box so you can read along and pick out your people. So thanks for watching, and hope you enjoyed it. Happy reading.